Where is it? Here it is. Go live. All right. Oh, I lost my page now. There we go. It says we're live. So, welcome from the crossroads of America. Talk show about guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. We'll answer questions from the audience. Either put it in the chat or email me at rickslifeasIseeit at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. I have a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that other good stuff in the info section below. So we got that out of the way. So I got a couple of panelists at the moment. We have Jason Stewart. How you doing?
Doing good, Rick. Glad to see you. Glad to see everybody out there in the chat.
Okay, then we've got Squibload. How you doing?
At work, the usual.
Okay, all right. And we do have New York Outcast, but he's having connection issues. He can connect, but he can't hear us, and we can't hear him. They keep trying to tell me it's me, but I've checked all my settings. So there we go. Anyway, so let's see. That's my panelists out the way. Let me see. First in was Kingpin, then Jason Stewart, then Tactical Fudd, Kevin in New York. Then we got Gunpowder Beauty just joined us, so people are starting to drop in. That's good. And Raphael. So they're all starting to drop in. That's good. So before we get started, as I said in my thing on Wednesday, for the next 2 or 3 Wednesdays, I won't be doing the show. And the reason for that is it was something that I said last year to a family member who asked me if I would help mow her aunt's yard. I said, yeah, I can sit on a riding lawnmower, no problem. Do that. I should be able to do it. And I said, if my back starts hurting, I'll just get off for a little while, then get back on. And nothing, she never called me or anything, so I didn't think anything of it. Then the other day, she called me. She says, I'm going to need help for the next 2 or 3 weeks mowing the lawn. She goes, I'm going to take you up on your offer. And I said, what offer? She said, last year, you offered to help me. So that's how I walked myself into it. So that's what I'll be doing for the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I do apologize. So I just wanted to mention that in case anybody didn't see the thing I put out there. All right. Let's see. Couple of things. Now, what did I say? All right. I want to know, is training necessary? I mean, I've done training. I've had it. But is it necessary? Because when I read articles about, this person, shot so-and-so who intruded in his house and everything else, or was causing it. I mean, to me, I could be totally wrong. But to me, the way they word it sounds to me like, he bought a firearm, just stuck it in a drawer in his house and just happened to pull it out and shoot the intruder. There ain't no training involved, So, I mean, all this tactical training they're trying to, teach people, is it really worth it? That's what I want to know.
Well, yes, it is worth it. Is it necessary? Maybe not. But there's a lot of different types of training. There's training out there for the beginning gun owner, the person who's never shot, and that's different training than somebody who's a little more advanced. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you have no experience at all You don't have anyone to mentor you or anyone to take you to the range and help guide you a little bit, and you have like no experience, yes, you should go seek training, most definitely. Um, if you have a range or place to shoot and you can go get in a lot of practice, a lot of trigger time, then maybe you don't necessarily have to uh, go see a specialized trainer. It depends on your ability and it depends on, how good you're shooting or whatever. But yeah, I would highly recommend it, but necessary, I wouldn't deem it to be necessary, but it definitely wouldn't hurt you in any way, even if you know what you're doing. So yeah, I think there's a place for training. I think people should look into it. Of course, there's many trainers. You don't know what it is. You may not think you need any training, but you might find somebody locally or even travel to a training and you really love the experience and you really got some help with it. So yeah, training's fine.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Gunpowder Beauty out in the chat says training is necessary. Shooting at a piece of paper is a lot different than a high stress situation. I'm not disputing that fact.
Yeah.
But go on, Jason.
Oh, I was just agreeing with her too. But
yeah,
we've all seen it. We've seen people at the ranges or places, whether they're new or whatever, just terrible with a gun. Scared to pull the trigger that second time. You just need experience. You need trigger time. And maybe if you're someone that's struggling, a trainer would be great because maybe they can identify your problems and maybe do some things to directly help you. And, and all training's not this tactical craziness either. You know what I mean? So, yeah, especially if you're struggling or you're new, training's a definite yes.
Yeah. Now, New York Outcast has joined us and he stayed here. So can you hear us?
I can.
There you go.
All right.
Well, yeah, you finally made it.
Yeah, I had to do an update apparently for Just Me app or whatnot. So
okay.
I don't know. So I'm here now. Hello, everybody. Yep. Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining us.
All right. Yeah. So Squib, is training necessary?
No, it's absolutely not necessary, and it should never be required by law to exercise your constitutional rights. However, it can be useful. It can be helpful. Individual results may vary. You've got two factors. Some people might find training more useful than others. Those are the clueless fucks that are out there in the culture that make the rest of us look bad. And then you have the people who are the instructors who aren't very good instructors. Any asshole can be an instructor. You might have a piece of paper on the wall that says you passed the NRA. Anybody can pass the test. Think of it like this. There are millions upon millions of licensed drivers in the country, but we see every day how poorly they drive, right? So just because you have a piece of paper doesn't mean that you are, this expert or anything else, but it looks like it, especially to the novice. The thing is, there's so many new people in the culture. They have no reference, or their reference is, well, nothing happened with firearms until I got into it. And how long have you been into it? Oh, I've been into it for 4 years. Well, dude, there was shit going on way before then. And I've noticed that with the newbies, that they have this perspective that nothing happened before them. Or if it did, like if they talk about the NFA, they talk about it and they get their facts all screwed up. And it's a lot of bad advice getting parroted, a lot of bad opinions getting parroted, and a lot of bad training. I don't know shit about guns. I'll go pay this guy $500 to tell me shit that I don't even know if it's true, because I don't even know how to fact check or whatever. You could actually get a lot of good training on your own by doing your own research and taking the time to understand what this stuff means. You're going to have to go to multiple sources, and you can get a lot of good training from other people in the culture that aren't going to charge you an arm and a leg. I'm not big on instructors. It doesn't mean I don't think instructors don't have a place, or that there aren't some good instructors out there. But I've run into so many instructors that I don't agree with them, and they're business people. Let's get this straight. They're like the gun rights organizations. They don't give two flying fucks about the Second Amendment. That instructor don't give a fuck if you're safe. They want your money. You can say everything you want about Joe Blow instructor who's got the big YouTube channel and how great he is. He wants your fucking money. That's all he cares about. At the end of the day, if he couldn't make money off of you by selling his name, his brand, his classes, that sort of thing, he'd move on to the next thing. It's the same thing with these gun rights organizations. You say, this one's better than that one. They all want your fucking money. And they are not interested in the Second Amendment being the law of the land, because then they're all out of work. And this is what I mean about some of these newbies and novices. They watch a couple YouTube channels or talk to somebody at a gun store or a gun show, and suddenly they think they're a motherfucking expert, and they're just, it's an embarrassment. It really is. So training is not necessary, although it can be helpful, it can be useful, and training should never, never be mandatory.
I agree with that. It shouldn't be mandatory. Well, I mean, maybe I didn't word it right. But we're talking about it is, I mean, even though it's not mandatory, you go buy a gun, and what I said, a lot of these new people just buy a gun and go stick it in their drawer, and that's the end of it. You know. And I think if they never shot a gun, I think they at least should find somebody to teach them how to shoot or how to handle a gun, to be honest with you. But I don't know. See, I mean, I done the instructor thing when I first started, because I never held a gun in my life, you know. And so it was, so I went the route, but I done a lot of research trying to find the right instructor, you know. And so I went through that. Then after that, I've gone through a lot of other courses too, which brings me on to my next sort of topic along the training thing. Is I've done a lot of training on the self-defense laws or of your state or federal laws and all this kind of stuff with about carrying concealed and all that kind of stuff. I've mentioned this once before, or a couple of times. I've done the Masood Abdul, whatever his name is. I've done his course, but it wasn't trained by him. It was somebody who was certified by him to give his course. I've done that one. I did that one. I've done a couple like that. You know, all that stuff to me is very useful. Even the training was useful. And even now, I mean, I don't do it so much, but even like when I go down to my friends and shoot, you know, sometimes if I'm doing handgun, I don't stand in one place. I will move and shoot. I ain't moving very good, but I am moving. So you know, so I do all that, and you know, as you said, it shouldn't be mandated. It shouldn't be required or anything. But I think it's beneficial. I think that's the word somebody used, beneficial, to have some training, especially if you're, as you said, especially as a newcomer. You definitely need to know, you know, what in the hell you're doing, to be honest with you. I feel. I mean, I class myself as a newbie still. You know, what am I going on? 6 years being a gun owner, I think? And I still don't know shit. But I you know, I was just curious, to be honest with you. That's why I asked the question. So, New York Outcast, do you think training is necessary?
As in to what should be to carry a gun? Or
No.
just okay.
No. You know.
All right. Yeah, I was gonna say
you bought your gun. I mean, do you think you should train? Do you think you need training to be able to use it correctly?
no, I wouldn't say you actually need professional training, but I would definitely think you need to practice yourself at least. Yeah, but I think that's like anything. Just because you got a car doesn't mean you know how to drive it. Or another example, Squib. How many people with a license drive? Can't drive for shit. So, but yeah, I think it's definitely beneficial. I wouldn't want to see any requirements to anything, because people have been using guns for years without proper formal training, in a sense, as well as chainsaws and all types of other equipment, Hilti guns, ram sets, torches, welding geek equipment. So yeah, lots of things that could potentially be harmful. So I wouldn't see any reason to push that on anybody. But I do think, at a point, training is beneficial to you. I will put it that way. I think, it's not going to be the answer to every question, but I do think if you want to get better, you're going to have to train. So just depends what you want. Obviously you can do it yourself, but in some senses you don't know what you don't know. So you can't really watch yourself for micro corrections, things like this. So I think training's humbling. I mean, some of the cases where I've been, I didn't expect to learn anything, was forced to go, had to go. And, you always kind of look at something a little different. So I think, if you really want to get better, like anybody in a sport or a practice or anything, you're going to have to work at it. So just depends on your level. If you're just looking for, just self-defense in that rare once in a lifetime maybe case, statistically, to some people say, you might not need all that much, but kind of my motto is you got to work harder than the average guy, so that way the numbers are in your favor. That's like across the board with everything. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, personally,
statistics.
after your last video, you definitely need training.
Oh yeah.
When you get your ass whipped.
Well, steel, man. Steel,
Yeah.
I get sloppy shooting steel. I'll state that, but I've never been a bullseye shooter, so I'll also state that too. I have been. Well, anyway, I won't go on everything, but needless to state, I'm not concerned. So yeah, I do need to practice with my offhand. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I like to add in there. I know several people. Some are family, some are friends, but I know several people that's had guns for a few years, 2 years, 3 years, enjoy them, excited about them, bought in several guns, and made as many range trips as they possibly, could, not like once a year or anything, maybe been to the range 20, 25 times. And if you were there, you couldn't tell if this was their second day at the range or their 20th day at the range, So yeah, maybe some people just do need some training. You know what I mean? Something's not right now. Like we keep saying, yeah, not necessary. No, I don't want the government or any law or permit or anything telling me I have to take training. But we're all different. All of us on this chat and this YouTube, we're gun people. So you know what I mean? We're familiar with guns. We're probably all better with a gun than most everybody out there. You got to think about the weak link out there. Like I said, I could show you people that's been to the range 10 times more than you in the last year or two, and you can't believe how bad they shoot, or can't function a gun, or don't understand this or that, and you don't know what a problem is. I mean, don't they know how to grip it? Don't they know how to use sights? Can't they physically see what? But I've seen just pitiful results from people. So yeah, maybe sometimes if you're not very good, you should recognize you're not very good and try to fix that, because you're obviously doing something wrong, and you're doing it over and over so much. Now you're repeating your wrong. Your normal stance or your normal handling of the gun's wrong because your results are just not there. And I mean, I'm not hacking too hard on people. I'm talking about people that totally miss the target. Okay. Not like you didn't get a bullseye or you shot a Charlie or something on it. I mean, miss the damn target. silhouettes of humans miss it. Unload a magazine and get all happy because they put like one round in the shoulder. You know what I mean? That's not acceptable. That's just not going to get it.
Yep, I agree with you. There is a,
Like
I mean-
Squib was saying earlier, bringing up about, cars, driver's license and stuff. We all know people that's been driving for years that can't drive worth a shit, So when it comes to the seriousness of a firearm and the times we live in, if you struggle and continue to struggle, maybe you should find some help or some advice. It doesn't have to be a paid trainer, you know what I mean? Ask a friend, ask somebody at the range, like, hey, you shoot really good. What do you do? Just try something, because winging it on your own is not working. On the other hand, the rest of us that have a drive to improve better, you can judge your own actions at the range. You can figure out your own self and know that, hey, I'm not gripping it good enough. I'm not concentrating enough. I'm not giving this enough effort. If you can judge yourself, you're there, man. Just judge yourself harder and concentrate and get down to business on something. Because you can go to the range and just have fun and plink ammo, or you can go to the range and get serious too.
Well,
Yeah.
when you go to the range, you can get a lot of different opinions and stuff. You'll have somebody saying you're holding it wrong, you're doing this wrong. I mean, they're taking all the way down to you got the wrong size gun and the wrong caliber and stuff. And it's really opinion, and there's a lot of opinion in that. And with training, I've noticed that too. You've got instructors that think every word that comes out of their mouth is the word of God, and every other instructor out there is wrong, and they're the only ones. And oh, by the way, my class is $1,200, and that sort of crap. And I guess instructors and opinions have been the thing that has kind of turned me away from training. Now, I've taken training, and I may take some training again in the future. I'm not absolutely 100% against it, but I'm very cautious about some of the things that some of these instructors say and do. You also have newbies, which again, you have the clueless idiots out there who don't take the time, and they just pay somebody, and then they think, well, because I did it, everybody has to do it. Because if I can't get everybody to do it, then wow, I'm going to look like the clueless idiot that I am. And it's like, no, everybody doesn't need this. Just because you took it. I've noticed a lot of people that take training will encourage everybody else to do it. It's kind of like, I committed a crime, man. If I could just get everybody else to do it, then I'm not committing the crime. And I'm not saying training is a crime, but I'm saying it's the same sort of mentality. Misery loves company, or whatever you want to call it. Another thing is there are people that just get off on training. They get off on training like it's some sort of competitive sport, or it's the next high off the drug or whatever. They take one class and they want to take another and another. And hey, man, it's your money, your time. Do what you want. But these are the junkies. The training junkies that go out there and they're, oh yeah, training, everybody training. Or the worst might be the person that goes, hi, I've been anti-gun my whole life. But last year I got scared and I got a flu and I got my first gun. And now I'm on my fourth gun and I've been doing this for a year. And I took one class and I was hooked. So now I'm a licensed instructor. Come train with me because I'm going to help you. It's like, bitch, you've only been doing this a year. I'm not going to your class, but I've seen that on YouTube. And it's just like, no way. So I'm the one in the room that's skeptical of instructors only because of more bad experiences with instructors than good experiences. And I don't want to knock the good instructors that are out there, and I don't want to knock the good training that is out there. If I had a newbie come to me and say, look, man, I don't want to put a lot of time and money into this. What's the most important training you think I should get? I would say some training with regard to the laws in your state. And somebody might go, well, what about safety training? Dude, read the fucking pamphlet that comes with the gun. Seriously, if you can have reading and comprehension skills, that's all you need to know. I mean, nowadays they got it stenciled all over the damn gun everywhere. If you can't follow those written instructions, you probably shouldn't be handling a gun because you're probably going to shoot your foot off. But I would say it's more important to have some idea of the legal aspect. And really, you could do all that research yourself. All of that stuff is on government websites for free. But if you're not very good at reading legalese, or you just suck at research or whatever, I would say that would probably be where I'd put the priority, and then go from there. But just understand that no matter what class you take, no matter what it is, it's for a type of gun you've never handled, or it's for self-defense, or it's for legal purposes, or just whatever it is, understand that everything this instructor is saying is not always necessarily a fact. It's their opinion. We all have opinions. And some of these instructors are they've been doing this so long, or they're so egotistical that they think their opinion is now a fact. And I will fight back against those people every single day.
All right. I agree with you on that. I think, as I mentioned, getting training on the law in your state is a good thing to do. And believe it or not, I'm not, you don't even have to be a member, is the United States Concealed Carry Association website.
USCCA.
Yeah, they have a great thing about concealed carry laws in every state, and they've got one or two people full time. That's all their job is to keep those things up to date. It's a pretty good tool to use to know what because you need to know what the law is, especially if you're carrying, or even, So
I throw something in here real quick.
Yeah.
I just want to mention, because talking about training and this and that, and I think you can get better with training, or I think you do. Like athletes, everything. The more time you put in, the better, more payment you get out of it, in a sense, or results. But in the end, like as far as like taking a class and stuff from the Sadat Ute or any of these other guys, I honestly, personally, don't really see that as a big deal. I know other people see that as like a bragging point or something, but honestly, it's retention and practice. I mean, you can go take a CPR class. How many people are put on the spot right now are going to be able to do it right? Things like that. It's the retention and practice of the information. Getting information is great, but if you don't do nothing with it, or if you're not really interpreting it because you got an ego and you better anyway, then why even pay to go? And in that sense. But on top of that, if you're not using this, like out doing it regularly, then it doesn't matter. It's like a fighter. It's like anything. You have to be in the game. So to sit out and weekend warrior it, or you go take a couple classes a year, honestly, doesn't really mean shit. I mean, it doesn't impress me. So, but I think that transfers into self-defense, down to like medical, across the board, whether it's, I don't know, wrapping a window. If you don't do it often, you're not going to be that good at it, whether you learn from God himself.
All right. Just a quick side note, then we'll get back on topic. Is John paying you royalties, New York Outcast, for copyright?
No.
Because he's using your name now. Just change one
oh
letter.
No, man. He's in the clan. So
okay.
It's the Outclass clan. So
yeah.
Talk members. We got a whole group out there, some hardcore people, bunch of draft dodgers showed up, took their hardware, never showed up for orders. But there's a whole group out there. You're welcome to join.
Really, I think the training's only going to be as good as the trainers.
Yeah.
And the equipment that they have. Look, we can all buy a set of weights and pump iron at home, or you can go to a gym and use all their equipment. Okay. I look at some of the training that I've looked into, and I just found some new local guys here a couple weeks ago. Like if you just got your backyard, you're probably have an advantage to do something. But if you got to go out to a private range, especially if you have like range officers or anything, you're not getting any training. You're getting shooting target practice, sitting still or standing at a bench. To me, what impresses me about some training is going out to where they can have like multiple targets, locations for you to move around, scenarios planned out. You know what I mean? Almost like competition shooting runs, things like that. You're not going to get that at the range. You're not going to get that standing still. You're going to get in, if you're going to have something bad, you're going to get into a gunfight. You're going to get mugged. you're going to get messed with out on the street or whatever, they're not going to be standing there at 10 yards holding still like that piece of paper. So to have some experience in dealing with that and thing, I think that's the part of training. That's not day one stuff, but that's what I look for in the training. It's going to provide me an opportunity to have a different shooting area, to have different scenarios followed up, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. I think that's the benefit. I think if you go to like some kind of beginner course, I believe the instructors are only going to be teaching at whatever the weakest link in this group can handle. You know what I mean? If you have a whole group of experienced shooters and you got one newbie at the end, the newbie is going to be holding you all up. You see what I'm getting at? But yeah, I believe that the trainers are truly training you to fight, to move, to do some gun stuff. That's what I'm looking for. I mean, yeah, and they can produce a stressful situation. They can do things to get you stressed, make you make decisions on your feet. And we all think, here's one for you and get your friends to do. If you think you're so good and you're so badass about something, have to go out and put a few targets up and put a number on them. Okay. And have your friends standing there next to you right in your ear while you're getting ready to shoot, and they holler out a number, and that's the number you shoot. Okay. Or they're going to do math. Like if they say 10, you're going to shoot a 6 and a 4. Okay. Or you're going to shoot 2 5s. So make you do some math with it. But get them screaming. They'll be screaming at you, hollering out there, shoot plate 7, and there is no plate 7. And you're pointing your gun and you're looking. You'd be surprised how pitiful you will perform. Believe me, it's just a simple little thing like that. A couple people in each ear screaming you, giving you directions. 2 guys giving you different instructions, and you're trying to shoot after what they tell you. You'd be surprised. You'll just fall apart in the first few seconds. Believe me. Do you think that sounds stupid or easy? Try it. That's harder than hell.
Have you talking from experience here?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, when it's done, even though you failed, you'll be fun. You should be pumped like, wow, that was hard. You're not complaining it was hard. You're just pumped up in the moment and excited. And like, hey, let's do that again. And you'll find it's not easy if you're truthful. You can just start shooting and not hit the right targets. But if we go review it or look at it, we can see that you wasn't listening,
Yeah.
But like, you'll catch yourself. Like, not all the plates or whatever will be numbered perfect. Like I gave out the number 7. 7 might not even be out there. And you're concentrating, you're trying to do too good, and this dude's screaming 7 in your ear, and you're looking down your barrel and you don't see 7. You're just stuck pausing. You're scooting around. You don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
can, 3 and a 4.
Yeah, they can. And they're doing it fast. It's not like this is slow and you take your time. I'm talking seconds count.
Yeah.
Plus I've seen a lot of setups where here's 2 and 3 targets. Here's the bad guys right here in front of you. One's got a gun in his hand. Whatever FBI stats say, whatever, he's going to shoot you in 1.5 seconds. You know what I mean? You got 2 of them standing there and your gun's in the holster. Okay, draw it and hit both of them. And let's see what it was on the timer. You know what I mean? I mean, there's things that they can give you in training that you are just not going to do on your own.
Yeah. Actually, that's not a bad idea, because when I go shooting over my friends, that's something that we could do.
Yeah, most definitely. If you're on private property or someplace where you can move around, you could set yourself up nice. You know what I mean?
It is private property, and half the targets out there are mine anyway. That I just leave them down there.
Yeah, man, just some targets where you can have more than one. Spread them out, or maybe you got to run 20 feet over here and get behind the picnic table to shoot the other ones. And if you do it as in training, like pushing yourself, absolutely, that'd be great. If you had private property, it's just the gun range, they ain't gonna let you do that.
See, I disagree with that sort of training for self-defense as a civilian. Now, if you're going to be on the SWAT team or in the military, that's kind of similar to that, the sort of training they get, although there are some more things that are a little bit more specific. I think that if you take some training that's realistic for a self-defense scenario and it helps you build confidence and it helps you work on muscle memory and speed and things like that, then I think that's a good thing. But I think some of this other stuff it's bits and pieces of police and military training as well as competitive shooting. It's really more recreational than anything else. And this is what I mean about the guys that go to the training. They're going for fun and to meet their friends and to say they took this class as opposed to really getting something out of it. Now, I'm not saying that sort of training might not be helpful to some people, but I can tell you that I've done that stuff, and that crap is, in my opinion, absolutely useless in a self-defense scenario. I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to work under fire, under stress, confusion, shooting with your weak hand, shooting injured stuff, but this is like my poser video. You can take all the training you want, have all the tools you want, have all the certifications you want, the cards. I've got 25 concealed carry permits and all this other stuff. And if at a moment of truth you freeze and you won't take somebody's life in order to protect your kid right next to you. And you might go, well, yeah, that's why I did that casino drill with that guy that I paid all that money to. That casino drill is not going to give you the mindset. Mindset is worth more than, I'm not saying that if you have mindset, you don't need training. No. But I think some people substitute mindset for training, or they substitute gear for mindset, or other things like that. And another thing is, unless you are planning to be in some sort of militia or something where you're doing SWAT team tactics or military tactics, some of that crap is it's not very useful. I'm not saying, once again, that it can't be fun. It can't help you with muscle memory, with reflexes, with confidence, and other things like that. But that sort of crap, when you're in a self-defense situation, one of the first things you should be aware of is your surroundings. Then the next thing is, can you get away or de-escalate or something else like that? Who are you with? What have you got to do? What do you got to protect? Where's the collateral damage at? Stuff like that. Helping somebody learn how to assess that is going to go a lot further than yelling 7 and there's no number 7 to shoot at. But that's what sells. That's what people like. And then when you have a real self-defense scenario, you're looking for number 7. You're not thinking, this is I'm taking somebody's life or whatever. I'm just not a big fan of it unless it's recreation. But that's my opinion. This is what I mean about there being all these opinions out there. Somebody else will go, you're wrong, blah blah blah. Dude, it's my opinion.
I'll add on to that. I get what you're saying. When I first have had some exposure and seen people that are ex-military, ex-special forces, and our sheriffs and our police here, and what they were talking about training and showing, and they were doing some of their runs and they're seeing their skills. I used to, I'm like your everybody Jay. Oh, fuck these cops, and they can't shoot, and they can't do this and that. Go out there and watch them, and it's real quick to watch and say, oh, they are a hell of a lot better than me. Even though I'm Jay and I got plenty of guns and shoot, and I got nice guns and I'm, good shot. They clean my clock in a second. I'd be in a box, buddy. I seen and watched that and saw how good they really was. And then it started making me think about watching. Yeah, maybe I'm just an everyday guy and I don't need this training that these guys have been through and everything. But then I think about it. I would like to do it. I like to know what tactics are going to be used against me in some forms. You know what I mean? And I think we kind of take it for granted. A self-defense shooting or something on the street. It may not be some 20-year-old punk gang member with a high point. The guy behind that gun pointed at you, he might not be no joke. He might be highly skilled.
It might be ex-military.
You're just thinking, oh, well, these, everyday Joe, and I know what to do. I can handle it. I don't think so. I think you have to be prepared. Like I said, what if you run up on somebody that ain't no joke? You know what I mean? So that's what I looking at on the training for my personal reasons. I have them feelings, and I had a lot of them at first about, that's SWAT stuff. That's tactical asshole stuff. That doesn't apply to me. But then I've seen the people who have those skills and how they operate a gun. And I've realized for myself, you could be completely different out there. But I realized for myself, these guys ain't no joke. And you know what I mean? You're going to struggle one-on-one. What if you got 4 or 5 guys out there in your yard or coming in your house or doing something, that ain't no joke. If it happens to be, the law or the National Guard side of things, I'd like to know their tactics. I'd like to know what they do, because I would have some type of counter plan to disrupt their tactics. You know what I mean? Are they foolish enough to think they're just so superior and they'll go by their rules and their practice? Will you come in my door? Well, I'm gonna start confusion or something to break you guys up. Something, just saying some stuff. But on the other hand, like saying like personal defense, what if this is a bad dude? What if the dude just come up to you, is punking you out, robbing you, or going to do something? What if you're like the 30th person he's fucked up? What if he shot and killed many people and don't give a shit, don't have a bit of fear? What if he has good gun training and he's legend on the street because he don't miss? You know what I mean? You might not have to be going up against some junkie or some school kid that's having problems or something. You might find yourself face to face with somebody that is well trained, more trained than you, probably well armed than you, younger, faster, and stronger than you. So, I would just, give one more thumbs up to training if you can get the right training.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, though, I mean, personally myself, when you were discussing that thing with the numbers, what I was thinking of, two things. One, I reckon that would be fun, just for the fun sake of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Two, it would get me being a fat old boy, it would get my heart pumping, breathing heavy, and trying to hit a target when I'm going. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that was just a little fun drill for us to kind of stress us out. It had nothing to do with tactical movements or aiming or anything. That's just kind of like a little practice thing. That's not really training, but I was just putting an example. If you think things are easy, try to do something you ain't never done before.
Oh yeah.
In the same sense that I don't think training should be required by law, I don't think it should be denied by law either. If you want to take SWAT team training, I think you should be able to take it. If you want to take military training, I think you should be able to take it. If you're willing to spend the money and travel the distance and take the time off work or whatever it is it takes to do it, I think it should never be banned, in the same sense that I don't think training should be required. And if this is something you want to do for fun or to prove something to yourself, that's fine. If you think you're actually going to use this crap, that's fine too. We're all different people, and we all are in this for different reasons. So somebody might go, look, man, I just want to be able to carry my gun back and forth to work, and that's it. Somebody else might go, yeah, man, I'm ready for the boogaloo. Whatever it is, it's your choice. I think, though, that some of that stuff, once again, it's really a matter of what is your end goal. And there's a lot of salespeople out there that are just looking to take your money. So just understand that you might walk out of there feeling pretty confident about yourself, but you really just spent your money on nothing. Or you might walk out of there, going, I can't believe I paid this much for. Or you might walk out of there going, not only do I think I got a good value, but I would definitely come back and recommend this. But I think the more classes you take, the more different kinds of instructors and the more objective you're going to be. And you could go back and look at that first class and go, I can't believe I believed everything that guy said. I wouldn't say just take one class and walk away, unless, of course, you're like when you guys said, you buy the gun, you take it home, you put it in your nightstand, you're done with it. And you're like, well, I want to take some training. There are basic courses and things you can take. If you want to take the more advanced stuff, hey, man, it's a capitalist society. Go right ahead. I just don't think it's practical for most people, but there's lots of things that we do that are practical, like that Mossberg Shockwave. It's not practical. People buy them all day long, right? And then we're right back into the whole opinion thing. You could argue with me till you're blue in the face that it's practical, and I'm going to say it's not, and it's two different opinions. And that's what I mean about the training. Whether somebody's trying to encourage you to take it or whether you're sitting in a classroom, just understand there's going to be a lot of opinion out there. This is like everything else in our culture. It's opinion driven. And somewhere in there is the truth. There are facts. And you have to sift through to find that stuff.
Talking about the NFA, I was watching something silencers. If you're after a silencer, I imagine you can do it yourself, but the NFA now accepting e-forms, right? And they've got it down where you fill out the form, especially because Silence Central will do it all for you. And they've got it where the NFA or whoever you pay the tax stamp to, the ATF or whatever, get it back to you in 100 days or less. So there's none of this 9 months to a year waiting to get your silencer anymore. Just thought I'll mention that. You know, I'm not sure if I saw it on the YouTube thing or I read it. You know.
Yeah, I think in the last few years, this electronic filing, maybe they're getting a little better at it, but I have heard of much lower times to get it back now than what it used to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. But all right, moving on from the training thing. You know, I want to talk about a couple of. You see that bill that they passed in the House? It hasn't got over to the Senate yet, but it passed in the House. The active shooter alert system that they want to set up a system like, you know, the what you call it. If the kid goes missing, you get a
Amber Alert.
Phone.
Yeah, Amber Alerts.
Yeah, they want to do the same thing with an active shooter. All that, I mean, I think that's a waste of a goddamn tax dollar to set something up like that. You know?
I think it does more bad than it does good. It, like all their ideas on face value, that sounds okay. But I think in actual practicality, we don't want anything like that. We don't need anything like that because we all live in different places. And an alert going off on like that in your phone might trigger a much different response in my town than your town. And more often than not, I would believe if you put out a warning like that, and maybe you're in a smaller town or you're in a neighborhood that you're used to the shootings, I think you're going to get a lot of people loading up and going out and trying to be a hero.
Yeah, I do too. Plus, to me, it's
they could have used it in Uvalde. I mean, if the cops aren't going to do their job, step aside and let some real men go in there and do it. So if they want to do that, like an Amber Alert, and you had the reaction is you got a bunch of good old boys showing up, going in there, taking care of business because law enforcement is taking their sweet time getting out there. And then when they do, they're hiding outside like the pussies they are. Then I'm all for it. Why not? Now, don't get me wrong. These people might not know each other. They're not used to working together. They're not well trained. They might be trigger happy. But hell, something's better than nothing at this point.
Yeah, but
law enforcement would show up and shoot a bunch of armed parents. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I can see that being used against us too. And now we have, you know, parents becoming felons because they showed up 10 minutes after the whole deal was happened. The police are already there. You show up on the property, now you're a felon. Yeah, we got a crazy parent here with a gun. I don't think the system's needed. Even in the last school there, or whatever that they mentioned, that Squid mentioned there. I mean, everybody knew he was shooting outside for 10 minutes. So how much more do you need? When you hear gunshots, there's a shooting. It's pretty simple.
The reason they didn't, I guess the reason they didn't go rushing in at that school was they must have ran out of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I saw that. Isn't that ridiculous?
Only one cop did it, you know?
Seems like it's just a way for them to normalize stuff. Everybody, you know, who's not in panic already will panic every time their phone goes off.
That's what I was about
more
to say.
Bullshit.
You know, to me, it's a way to make people turn against people owning guns, to make it even worse than it already is. Because they're starting.
I don't see that. Look, about the cops standing outside the school, stopping the parents from coming in or wanting to engage armed parents, let them engage them. As far as I'm concerned, and I'm not one to call for violence against the law enforcement, but if your kid is in that school and there's a guy in there doing some damage and the cops are standing outside, I think you should be able to shoot through the cops to get through the school. Be like, stand aside, I'm going in. You're not going in, put that gun down. And then you just start blasting your way in. They'll learn.
He'd be the first dude out there like, oh, what are you talking about? Should have let him deal with it. Like, I doubt that.
My thing is,
the cops.
My thing is, okay, if you're not going to go in there and face the gunfire, then you're going to face it out here. Now, would you rather have 50 angry parents or one stupid kid tranked out in there with a rifle? Man up and get in there, or get the fuck out of the way. That's my kid in that school. I don't like the schools being locked or some of the other horse shit that they do, because it's more of my tax dollars pay for that building thing, but also that my kid is in there. And by the way, these measures don't work. They never will work. I'm not calling for violence, but if you're not going to do your job, I'm going to go in there and do it. That's my kid in there. It might not be your kid, but it's my kid. And you're going to point a gun at me because I'm going in, you're now a threat, and threats get neutralized. It's as simple as that. That is probably the one and only scenario where I would get violent with law enforcement, is if they tried to stop me from getting in there to get my kid because they're not doing their damn job. That Uvalde thing, watching that video, made me sick, but this isn't the first time that they've done it. I already did a video on this. Man up and do your job, or put down the gun, turn in the shield, walk away from law enforcement forever, and let some real men do the job.
I understand where you're coming from. I really do, But, yeah. But that was just one bill I noticed that passed. And the other one that's scaring me, only because of the rhinos who voted to pass that bipartisan thing, right, is, as you know, the House, what's his name? The guy,
Pat Nadler.
Yes, he's done an assault weapons ban. Their words, not mine. And it's going to pass the House because they have the majority, and I'm afraid it might pass the Senate, because look at those ones who turned on that other deal. And there's been a few that said they would back one, and some of the ones who said they're going to back one are not running for office again this November. So they don't give a shit if they say no. What are you going to do to them? If they say yes, let's go for it.
Yes, we're having to deal with that lately on the last couple issues, and
Yeah.
two of the representatives from Ohio fall in that category.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they turned rhino, and they're not running for re-election, and they've already voted rhino twice lately.
Yeah. And so for the assault weapons ban, there's 2 votes right there that puts them over the top to get closer to 60. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the scary part.
I think there's a stronger chance now than normal that they'll probably get this passed. They'll probably get it all the way through.
And I know it goes against it goes against the Constitution. It goes against the Brewing case that just got passed and shit. But it's going to have to be taken to court to be, overturned.
Yeah,
and that takes time and money.
So, like, what they showed the other day, like from Guns and Gadgets and stuff, what the proposal is, what he put out right there, and you know how vague they put it. Oh, a gun with a barrel shroud on it is now banned. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of those is a short list there, maybe 8 things, 10 things. Every bit of that looks like they'll pass that. But you got to understand, once they're doing this in the committees and market, they'll probably add 20 things to that. I mean, ridiculous stuff, like go after all kinds of stuff, like their serial numbers on your springs and this and that. And they'll add so much more crap to it that they might lose some support on it. You know what I mean? They're kind of got a track record of doing that with a lot of stuff lately too. As bad as it all is, like I said, I think they'll just add so much to it. It'll be so ridiculous. Somebody will add in $100 million fund for shooting victims or something, and somebody will add something in against the manufacturers or something. They'll bloat it all out, and maybe they'll lose some support.
No, that's what you can hope. That's what we can hope for, because But another thing too is that barrel shroud, right?
Handguard.
We know what they're talking about, right? But what's wrong with them classing? Take your old fashioned hunting rifle, your wooden forestock, right? That's that's covering half the barrel. That's a barrel shroud.
Yeah, and look how they worded it on the automatic part of it. Doesn't matter. My AR-15. It should just say right there, line 1, no more AR-15s.
Yeah.
Let's skip the bull crap about a semi-automatic that has a pistol grip, that has a magazine in front of the pistol grip, that has a flashbang. Cut all that out, because you move down to the other ones and it says if there is a model of that gun out there somewhere that was produced full auto, then it's banned.
Yeah.
So that just eliminates them all right there. You can skip the first two about barrel shrouds and muzzle flashes and threaded barrels and adjustable stocks. None of that will apply, because you move down here to the bottom and it's just going to take everything.
Yeah, and that's what's scary. Normally I've never worried about it, but with the way the rhinos have really been turning, it's become a scary proposition now.
Yeah. Plus, like you said, in the past, I have purchased out of fear, when these politicians start stuff. But this time, I'm with you. I think it has a different feel to it this time.
Yes.
With the atmosphere that they're probably going to pass this. Hopefully, it goes to the court system rapidly and they do their job. But I don't want to count on that. I'd rather this be stopped in its tracks in Congress. But this time, I don't think it's going to. Especially with the rhinos that have flipped. And just, this one's different, man. Look what they just shoved down our throats real quick. Bam, bam. The first shooting in New York wasn't enough for the news. They couldn't get anything from that. So they had to have a school shooting in Valde. And then, bam, look, let's go crazy with the gun laws. And then they got people to cross over this aisle and vote for it. So I think they're using their opportunity right now, since they just had the rhino switch a couple weeks ago. They're going to throw it up now and try to keep those rhinos, while the pan's hot.
Plus, they have a good chance, if they play fair, that they're going to lose the majority in the House. So they need to do it now while they're still in charge. And stuff, while they still have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But oh well. Yeah, it's something to keep a close eye on. It definitely is. Okay, now I didn't watch, before I get accused of stealing topics, I didn't watch Caliber Corner this morning. So my question is there an ammo shortage? Is it over?
There's plenty of ammo on the shelves here.
There's plenty of ammo here.
Yeah, there's plenty of it.
Reloading supplies is a different topic,
Yeah. Yep, that's different. But as far as, factory ammo, there is a lot of it here. Just like the good old days, I guess. Shelves are packed full where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, ammo here. I mean, I'm not saying the prices are great, but there is ammo. I mean, I don't think prices are going to go, and the way inflation is going, everything's costing more. So I don't think the price of ammo is going to go back to what it was, pre-COVID type thing, or pre-2020, before the riot started and everything else.
No, it's not. But it's not so much the ammo manufacturers too. It's inflation. Everything's higher price. I mean, every single thing. So ammo's going to be too. It's just there's a difference between being a price and then an outrageous price too.
Yeah, true. But what I want to know on a slightly you know, with producing no more oil and shit over here and gas and all that. I mean, besides getting gasoline out of oil, which originally was a byproduct when they first invented it, or when they discovered it, I should say, right? But there is there's so much stuff in the world that's made with plastic, which is the derivative of oil.
Oil, petroleum is in 99% everything.
Yeah.
Everything you can look around right now in your home, everything is there's petroleum in it.
So it's going to go up.
Petroleum used to get it to you.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Even your buttons on your shirt, the price is going to go up because they're made out of plastic. So people don't seem to. I don't know if they don't realize that, or I'm just making too much out of it. I don't know. But it's crazy. Plus, he's goddamn him. He was an embarrassment over in the Middle East, but I ain't gonna go there. Don't get me all worked up.
Fist pump, bro. Fuck the elbows.
Yeah.
Fist
Fuck
pump.
the elbows are fist pumping, We lost Squib. He must be busy at work. Or he got tired of the topic, one of the two. Oh, Ozzy said the shortage is pretty much over, but the supply isn't where it will drive prices down. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I'm hoping it's that, because if the shortage is pretty much over, then now they should start working on reloading supplies. Because I'm not saying it's here still in my part of southern Indiana, reloading supplies are still hard to find. And I was talking earlier before we went live. Yes, I can buy them online. I found, take small rifle primers. I found some online, and the couple of these small reloading websites have them. You can buy them minimum amount, 1,000, right, for about between $90 and $100 for small rifle primers. Well, yeah, okay, that's not. Hey, that's a hell of a lot more we were paying, but that's the average price now. But you go order them, then their website says minimum order on the website is $300. So you got to come up with some other stuff to get the order, and that's where I have a problem, because I don't need $300 worth of stuff. Oh, yeah, that must have been talked about this morning, because New York Outcast has left us. You know what he said in his chat there? So I'll move on, since you guys have already discussed it. So anyway, it's 4:00 already. Damn, the hour went by fast.
It was reloading scared Rob away.
Yeah, he doesn't like talking
Reloading
about reloading. I was only mentioning that part as per se, but I guess you already heard it, so that's all right.
I've tried to tell Rob. I don't think he listened or heard when I was saying it, but you know how Rob is on the price of everything. Rob, I can reload a box of ammo right now for $10, and it doesn't matter if it's 9mm or 357 or 45. I can reload a box of 50 for $10 or less. So there you go, Rob. Just keep that in consideration.
Tony Hillert said, "Buy 3 bricks, you tight bastard, or you cheap bastard." Yeah, I guess I am. But anyway, quiz. The last where are we at? The last quiz, the question was, I wanted to know what were the changes? The M1911A1 changes to the original design. That's what I wanted to know. And what I've got written down, I hope I got them all, consisted of a shorter trigger, cutouts in the frame behind the trigger, an arch mainspring housing, a longer grip safety spur to prevent hammer bite, a wider front sight, a shorter hammer spur, and simplified grip checkering, eliminating the double diamond reliefs. That's what I got, and I had some correct entries. So let me hit my draw now button. Jacob S is the winner. Only a few you guys enter, and so it's normally the same guys who normally win because they're the only ones that enter.
I forgot about the grips.
Yeah,
That's good to learn.
Yeah. Also, talking about that, Gary Gizzard won the last one, and honestly, I thought I'd mailed it out already, but it's sitting right here. I didn't realize it was buried under a bunch of paperwork on my desk here, and so I do apologize. I'll get that in the mail Monday, Gary. So I do apologize for that.
Chicken's on hold, Gary. Sorry.
Yeah. So sorry about that. All right. Now, it's only me and you left. Jason, damn. Everybody's leaving me. It's coming close to the end anyway. So, all right. The next quiz, which will be drawn on the 30th of July. This one's real easy, I think. But I was the one who read it and found it. So, Now, this is the information I got. I'm not saying it's correct, but this is the information I got. It's a two-part question, right? Who is recognized as the who is recognized? Let's finish. What actor is recognized as the sort of like having the most, or not having the most, making the most Western films? There you go. And this will give you a clue. The next part of the question is, I want to know what rank he was in the Army when he mustered out after WW1. So, there you go. Give me the name of the actor, basically, is what I'm after. Who is known as being the, who made the most Western movies, recognized as that, and what was his rank when he mustered out of the Army after World War I. Email me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com.
Here's a hint. It wasn't Dean Martin.
Yeah, that's right. So there you go. So that's my quiz, and that's for swag pack, So there we go. All right. It's only me and you left, Jason, so I think we ran them all off.
Yeah, they got no loyalty, Rick.
I know.
No.
Well, they could also be over on Ask Gun Questions with G-Webs. He's running a show at this time, too.
Some people scared of the conversation, man.
Yeah. They have trouble. They have trouble taking it as Rick sees it. All right, guys. We might as well wind it up then, and I'll let you go. But Now, don't forget, I won't be here Wednesday because I'm mowing grass for the next 2 or 3 Wednesdays. Now, if it rains, it might. If it rains here, it might be different. But my aunt wants her grass mowed on the same day every week, come hell or high water. She's up in her 80s, so you know what I'm saying. So that's why I said, that's how I walked myself into it. But anyway, it won't be for long. Then I'll be back. So with that, have you got any shout outs or plugs, Jason?
Yeah, man. If your people are just sitting around today on YouTube, go watch your favorite or normal creators. There'll be several shows on here the rest of the day. If you've been busy,
G23 on later?
Should be. Rich White should be on later. I think G Webs is on right now.
Yeah.
But, just spend some time on YouTube. You'll enjoy yourself. If not, if you're not looking for something live today, if you've had a busy week, want to go back and recap what you missed during the week, go over to Kingpin's channel and catch his video series he's putting out, and make sure you're subscribed to the channels that he's introducing you to. That'll give you something to do if you missed it during the week. And, just enjoy your day. Spend time with family if you can't YouTube. But yeah, thanks for being here now, and hope we see you on the next one.
All right. Thank you, Jason. So with that, I said my other 2 panelists left. So that's it. I want to say thank you all for being here for this hour or so that I've been on. I really do appreciate you stopping by and spending the time with us. If you guys ever got any questions or anything you want asked or want my opinion on, I'll definitely give it to you. You can always email me your questions and I can use them, or write them in the chat here if anybody's got anything. So
well, I'll help my friends out and fill you in. Squib would have said, if you want to take training or you want to buy ammo, just put it on the card. And Rob would have said, eat a salad.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, Patriot in the Dark's finally showing up as I'm going. You missed it. Patriot in the Dark. And I don't, I don't want no excuses. So actually, Jason's actually got your seat as the co-host now. So. All right.
You'll have to go rewind it, man. We spent a good little segment on shooting blindfolded.
Yeah, oh yeah. All right. Where's my thing here? Let me find it. Okay, so I want to say thank you to everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next week. And everybody have a good one. So bye, everybody. Goodbye, Sabrina.
Put a salad on the card.